What's up, y'all? This is Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. And I'm back with part 2 of the LGBTQ plus agenda. Yippers. I guess it sounded a little bit too happy when I did that. But you know what? I got some pretty good feedback. Excuse me. I got some pretty good feedback off of the first part. I received some questionable feedback. I received, it is what it is. So what people need to understand about this subject is not a touchy subject. It is not a sensitive subject. Okay? Because what are we talking about here? Okay? What are we really talking about here? All right? We're talking about most likely adults that have made their own decisions in life. And as of 2021, the year that we are living in now, they have either bullied, coerced, or basically made you feel like, as a person that is heterosexual, that you need to kowtow to what they want. And by they, I mean the LGBTQ plus leadership and politics. Okay? I say it again. I'm talking about the LGBTQ plus community, leadership, and politics. All right? It's very hard. Well, I won't say hard, but it's very difficult to find the exact leadership. The people that have brought this community to the prominence that it is now. It's very difficult to find these people. And you would think in 2021, where the law is basically wide open for transgenders, lesbians, bisexuals, and homosexuals. The law is wide open for people that decide to live this kind of lifestyle. The law is open to where they don't have to fear any consequences. They don't have to fear any rebuttal or any forced ideology on them. These are people that are able to live their own life the way they want it. It is being indoctrinated through schools. What this documentary is about, it's about calling out the leadership and the political and financial backing of the LGBTQ plus community. Okay? That's all this is about. I don't care about what another man does with another man. I don't care about what another woman does with another woman. I don't care. Because according to me, whatever you do in your bedroom is between you and God. All right? We're going to pick up where we left off from the documentary. And So we can do a little recap here. Let's do this real fast. All right, let's do it.
3 years as a volunteer at Franklin Elementary School. I experienced in those 3 years dealing with 40 kindergartners calling each other by a lot of different slurs, including the gay slurs that Ms. England says is just an agenda. It's not just an agenda. It was a need to keep the students safe.
What did you do to stop it? What did you do to stop it? Did you enforce the current school policy?
Let me finish my statement.
What did you do to stop the slurs?
I dealt with that as a Christian.
I'm very excited about going home and kissing my boys and telling them that we have had a victory tonight.
And the school board should be ashamed of itself when not only does it vote to approve such a measure, but funds it in order to vote for it.
This battle isn't over yet. 11 states around the country now have bullying laws that include sexual orientation. That means that this scene in Alameda will be replayed in schools across the country.
All right, guys. So check it out. So that was a recap. And if you're looking at this scripture, this is a scripture. It's 1 Corinthians. For anyone who's reading this, this is from the biblical book, the Bible, Holy Bible. I know I got to say this. I can't believe I got to put a disclaimer on the Holy Bible, but I have no idea who's listening to this, and God help them. But this is 1 Corinthians 6:9. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind." Right? Now, I know people say like, well, what does religion has to do about it? What I don't understand. What do you mean? What do you mean, Sam B? What do you mean? Well, I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Because see, this man right here, he just called himself a Christian. Right? This guy right here.
Current school policy?
Let me finish my statement.
What did you do to stop the slurs?
I dealt with that as a Christian.
I'm very excited about going home and kissing my boys and telling
So
them
that guy
that
right
we have
there.
had a victory.
Rewind it back a little bit again. Just so, get a little bit of context.
On these young kids' throats.
I spent 3 years as a volunteer at Franklin Elementary School. I experienced in those 3 years dealing with 40 kindergartners calling each other by a lot of different slurs, including the gay slurs that Ms. England says is just an agenda. It's not just an agenda. It was a need to keep the students safe.
What did you do to stop it? What did you do to stop it? Did you enforce the current school policy?
Let me finish my statement.
What did you do to stop the slurs?
I dealt with that as a Christian.
I'm very excited about going home and kissing my
All right. So there you have it. There you have it. Now, this man obviously is a homosexual, right? Now, I don't know if my eyes deceive me, or my heart, or my mind, or maybe I'm just illiterate on some level, or not cognitive. But I'm pretty sure that this scripture explains, and this is one of many scriptures. All right? This is one of many scriptures that explain why he is in the wrong. Because see, he just claimed to be a Christian, but he's also gay. He's also a homosexual. So here's the thing, guys. What are we doing here? 1 Corinthians 6:9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Anybody with any kind of thinking knows what that means. Okay? But for the one-dimensional thinkers, we'll look up effeminate. What is effeminate? And also, I'm using Google. Effeminate meaning. And if Google feels like it wants to play games, it wants to play bait and switch with the meaning, we'll go somewhere else. Right? Effeminate. Ooh, adjective, derogatory. Ooh. Of a man, having or showing characteristics regarded as typical of a woman, unmanly. Translates, yeah, of course. So Google didn't try to half step with that. And look at this. I don't know what this is. What is this? Effeminacy? This is new. Effeminacy is the embodiment. And like, this is the first time I even looked this word up in Google. So let's see. Effeminacy is the embodiment of traits in a boy or man that are more often associated with feminine behavior, mannerism, style, or gender roles rather than with traditional masculine behavior, mannerism, style, or roles. You see how they try to normalize it? And see, this is my first time even seeing that. Effeminacy? Where did that word even come from? Because see, you know, I know God is all over this. Because this is my first time even looking this up. Okay? And this is all being recorded. Okay? As you can see, my toolbar, I got a lot of stuff to show you guys. All right? But this, effeminacy? And it said embodiment of traits. So not only are they trying to make it seem like you were born with this, but they're just making up words as they go along. Look, Wikipedia's in on it. I've never heard of these words. I've never heard of this word ever. I've been on this earth 33 years, and I've never heard of this word, effeminacy. And they got this guy with this damn flower on his, yeah. But what's up, bro? What do you, how can I help you? Okay? And for those who are in the know, that's you know, that's you know, the one eye propaganda, Lucifer's eye for the ones in the know. But that's a whole new video. We'll get back to that. All right? We'll go back to that. That's something else. That's something else totally different. But femininity. So we're not going to lose track. We're going to go back. And we are going to, and like I said, I'm on my own YouTube channel. I know you guys are looking at my playlist and what I pay attention to. And yeah, this is what I got my mind. You know, yeah. This is it. This is the stuff that I look up. You know? All right. I got Kevin Samuels in there, but you know, we're not talking about him right now. He gotta explain himself in that Brittany Renner thing. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to it. This is them trying to merge this LGBT culture into the church. And this is why it's an agenda. I'm going to cue this up. And I want you guys, and I'm doing this because the truth community, conspiracy theorists, they're always being scolded. See, they always do this. They're always being scolded for, oh, it's all made up. It's all made up. It's all made up. That didn't happen. So I'm going to have this queued up already. All right. And we're going to go because, see, I want you guys to understand something. This was already in the making. This thing took place so many years ago. All right. Especially within the Black community. Oh, you don't believe me? You don't believe that? Oh, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Black gays and the church, a complex relationship. Right? This is an essay review of homosexuality and the Black church. I'm going to go back to the other article, but this is the one I was looking for. I got a lot of stuff on this toolbar, but this is the one I was looking for. And I'm going to do a lot of reading today, so get your ears ready. I'm going to try to make this as comfortable as possible, but let's do it. Homosexuality in the Black church, Angelique C. Harris, right? Black churches, and you guys can read all the beginning stuff. There's a bunch of credits and everything, and Black lady. Yeah, let's do this. All right. So, homosexuality in the Black church. I gotta stop doing that. Homosexuality in the Black church. Black churches' battle with homosexuality is nothing new. In the fall of 1929, Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Sr., pastor of one of the best-known Black churches in the United States, Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, launched a campaign against homosexuality and other vices in the African American community. In his 1939 autobiography, Powell claimed that his motivation for this campaign was to protect the African American family. According to Powell, homosexuality was an alarming social trend that greatly threatened American families, with men leaving their spouses for other men and women choosing to never marry and instead engaging in relationships with other women. Powell wrote, "Why did I preach against homosexuality and all manner of sex perversions? Because, as every informed person knows, these sins are on the increase and are threatening to eat the vitals out of America." For years, Powell and later his son and successor, Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr., condemned homosexuality as a sin and used biblical passages to support their views. In fact, in an attempt to get Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to call off a civil rights protest planned for the Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles in August 1960. Powell Jr., who was also the Democratic congressman from Harlem, threatened to spread the rumor that Dr. King and Bayard Rustin, who was Wow. And that's all that article has to say. And you know what's crazy? Because it's funny that they stopped there. I'm going to look more on this. But see, I'm dealing with the rise of and the prominence of the LGBTQ plus community, okay, and the agenda that it has on the world and what is happening. Now, it's funny that Martin Luther King Jr. came up. And you guys, do your own research. Go past Google. But yes, it is on file. It is on record that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was involved in sexual relationships with men and women. Okay? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay? Guys, you have to understand what's going on here. All right? You have to understand what's going on here. This is something that's been in the works for a very long time. All right? Well, let's continue. Blacks, gays, and the church. A complex relationship. All right? And of course, my computer, because see, this is where the real conspiracy theory comes up. They don't want this out, guys. They don't want this out. They don't want anything out because here's the thing. This stuff is published. And look, I'm not laughing because I'm an a-hole or anything, but I'm laughing because I got to go through this much problems just to bring up what has already been written by the same people who are trying to hide it. So here it is. Blacks, gays, and the church, a complex relationship. Now, I'm not going to read all out of this. Fairly or not, African Americans have become the public face of resistance to same-sex marriage, owing to their religious beliefs and the outspoken opposition of many black pastors. Yet, the presence of gays and lesbians in black churches is common, and the fact they often hold leadership positions in their congregations is the worst kept secret in black America. Why is that? While many black pastors condemn gays and lesbians from the pulpit, the choir lofts behind them often are filled with gay singers and musicians. Some male pastors themselves have been entangled in scandals involving alleged affairs with men. Persons who are in the closet serve on the deacon boards, serve in the ministry, serve in every capacity in the church. The Reverend Dennis W. Wiley, pastor of Covenant Baptist United Church of Christ in Maryland. That is a lot of words. Okay? That's a lot of words. So that's a lot of words, Wiley. Wiley is a prominent advocate of, well, you know what? I bet he is. Wiley is a prominent advocate of gay marriage. You know what? I bet you are, because you got a lot of words in that thing. But you know what? I don't see nothing. He said, Covenant Baptist United Church of Christ in Maryland. Yeah, you got a lot of words there, bro. Oh, and look whose name comes up. President Obama's recent announcement that he supports same-sex marriage turned the spotlight on reservations many blacks harbor about gay rights. So we already been over that, right? And WHYY. Now, anyone knows what WHYY, PBS, what is that? Sesame Street, Ammo on them. And this was recorded in May 22nd, 2012. The end of Obama's first term, or at least coming to the end of it. And we already went over in the first beginning how he was playing hopscotch with whether or not he was a Christian or whether or not he was with LGBT community. We already went over one verse that pretty much denounces the homosexual community and lesbian, okay, LGBT, but yet they're trying to merge it. Why do the LGBT community feel like that they can merge with the ideology that has already made itself clear on how they feel about the behavior of such community? Why do they feel like that? Well, let's go here. This is Black Past, 1970, Huey P. Newton, the women's liberation and gay liberation movements. Now, Huey P. Newton, he was what? The founder, right, of the Black Panther movement. Now, I'm only going to read a little bit of this, so if you want to read it, you see where it's at, just look up Black Past. It says donate, all this, whatever. I'm only going to read a little bit of it because we got to get moving. All right? On August 15th, 1970, Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, co-founder of the Black Panther Party, gave a speech in New York City where he outlined the party's position on two emerging movements at the time, the women's liberation movement and the gay liberation movement. Newton's remarks were strikingly unusual since most conservative, moderate, and radical Black organizations remained silent on the issues addressed by these movements. The speech appears below. So these are his words. And I don't know how much they revised it, okay? Because this was reprinted April 17th, 2018, okay? Now, they said this is something he said in 1970. But see, this was presented again in April 17th, 2018. So take it with a grain of salt. During the past few years, strong movements had developed among women and among homosexuals seeking their liberation. There has been some uncertainty about how to relate to these movements. Whatever your personal opinions and your insecurities about homosexuality and the various liberation movements among homosexuals and women, and I speak of the homosexuals and women as oppressed groups, we should try to unite with them in a revolutionary fashion. I say, whatever your insecurities are, because as we very well know, sometimes our first instinct is to want to hit a homosexual in the mouth and want a woman to be quiet. No, sir. No, sir. But you know what, though? In the 1970s, there was document proof that within the Black Panther movement, there was a bit of domestic violence on women. As far as homosexuals are concerned, that is a battle that is fought within that community. Okay? There is very, very little proof that heterosexual men were bashing and physically harming homosexual men. That is very little proof of that. And when it does come out, it's literally no more than a verbal assault. Okay? So me personally, I don't think he said this. I don't think he said this. I'm gonna highlight this. All right. We want to hit a homosexual in the mouth because we are afraid that we might be homosexual. And we want to hit woman or shut her up because we are afraid that she might castrate us or take the nuts that we might not have to start with. Yeah, I don't believe a black man said that in the 1970s. Okay? I truly doubt that. That's why I said, take this article with a grain of salt. I sincerely doubt a heterosexual black man, co-founder of the Black Panther movement, said that. Or you know what? Maybe he did. I'm not sure. But let's move on. We must gain security in ourselves and therefore have respect and feelings for all oppressed people. We must not use a racist attitude that the white racists use against our people because they are black and poor. Many times, the poorest white person is the most racist because he is afraid that he might lose something or discover something that he does not have. So you're some kind of threat to him. This kind of psychology is in operation when we view oppressed people and we are angry with them because of their particular kind of behavior or their particular kind of deviation from the established norm. Right? So those are the words, supposed words of Huey P. Newton. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. It's very unlikely a black heterosexual man would have said this in the 1970s, especially what he was going through, if he wasn't a homosexual himself. Okay? I need you guys to really understand what's happening here. A lot of this stuff took place before we were born. People my age were born, and our parents were just teenagers or young adults. All right? Now, I said that I was going to make a correlation between the LGBT plus community and Black Lives Matter. All right? I told you I was going to do that. Harvey Milk. For those of you guys who don't know who Harvey Milk is, Harvey Bernard Milk, right? The first openly gay elected official in the history of California, where he was elected to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, although he was most pro-LGBT politician in the United States at the time. Politics and activism were not his early interests. He was neither open about his sexuality nor civically active until he was 40 after his experiences in the countercultural movement of the 1960s. You see what I'm saying? Because see, he was operating in the 60s. The Black Panther movement was operating in the 70s. Where does it all come? Where does it all go to? All right? I'll show you. It all led up to this. Between not Mark, I'm sorry. Between Harvey Milk, and you guys can read, you can pause this, read his whole Wikipedia, do what you got to do. But I got something I got to do. So you can do what you want, but I got this to do. Harvey Milk, Huey P. Newton. And like I said, take this, and oh, wow, it's still hyperlink. Look at that. Take this into consideration. Take it with a grain of salt. All right? And all of this from the 1960s to 1970s to this. LGBTQ organizations stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. Okay? Now, this is a pretty loaded article. And I believe that they did this on purpose because, they don't want too many people reading this, but it's the same connotations. Look, let's read a little bit. LGBT organizations stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. December 3rd, 2015, Minneapolis. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer communities know that the liberation is not a given. It is fought for. We remember it was trans women of color who led the riots of Stonewall, catalyzing a national movement. Before Stonewall, trans people who were getting arrested spurred the Compton cafeteria riots in 1966. We remember the White Night riots after America's justice system failed Harvey Milk. We remember that just 2 years ago, this was, look at that. December 3rd, 2015. Now, what happened in 2015? Because see, this is when LGBT organizations and Black Lives Matter came together in 2015. So, if we go back, let's go back to part 1. I told you guys I was going to do this. Told y'all. I want to hear it again.
This is the Gay Manifesto by Michael Swift, first published in Gay Community News, February 15th through the 21st in 1987. It is also reprinted in the Congressional Record. This is what it states. We shall sodomize your sons, emblems of your feeble masculinity, of your shallow dreams and your son shall athlete. Manifesto by Michael Swift, first published in Gay.
You see? 1987. All right? 1987. This is where this thing was written. This was a decree. All right? This was a decree. No matter how they try to paint this, this was a decree. This was something that was supposed to happen. All right? (2015), that document, and like I said, you can go back to part 1 to look at the document exactly for what it is. Okay? Because part 1 is already up there. So you go back if you want. But for people catching up, yes, that document was brought forth to Congress and implemented in Congress, U.S. Congress, in 2015. And this is the LGBTQ organization stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. I'm telling you right now, this is why this is called an agenda. Okay? There's no conspiracy theories if there's already an agenda in place. I'll say it again. There's no such thing as a conspiracy theory if there's not an agenda in place already. All right? And let's read a little bit. The night riots, America's justice system failed, Harvey Milk. We remember that just 2 years ago, we rallied to narrowly defeat a constitutional ban on marriage equality in Minnesota. Now, this is Minnesota. Minnesota did all this. All right? And, you know what? Wasn't that Minnesota? That's the George Floyd thing. Hold on, that just came to me. George Floyd, Minnesota. Oh, that was Minneapolis. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sorry, guys. I don't. Well, there it is. Yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah. Okay. So shoot, this I'll tell you right now, when you really do your research, it literally writes itself. It really does. And I had to do that real fast. So it all broke out in Minnesota, but look what happened in Minnesota in 2015 when the Homosexual Manifesto was inducted into U.S. Congress. Like I said, you can pause it, read it for yourself, but it's the same thing. They're blaming white supremacy, and it's always go back to white supremacy, right? It's so much to get. It's so much to talk about, guys. It's so much. But I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So let's go back to the documentary. So you saw the correlation between LGBTQ plus community and Black Lives Matter, how it started, how it was implemented. Okay. Huey P. Newton and Harvey Milk were just two of the main factors that it took to bring the LGBTQ plus community and the Black Lives Matter community together. All right? And then it trickled down into the churches. All right? Which is really just another mock-up of the Babylonian Kemet school system. But like I said, that's another video. So we're going to go to this part of the documentary. All right. We're going to go to this part.
Instead of dealing with those who are acting...
Mark Cabbage.
Steal my schools out from under me. And I'm the one disagreeing.
All right. So this part of the documentary it says, say goodbye to your constitutional freedoms. Here's one of many examples of why gay rights is a Trojan horse to persecute Christians and kick God out of the public square. Now, if you weren't paying attention, because I know I talk fast, I was moving a lot fast, but I hope that you got the picture. I hope you were listening. As of right now, up to now, we just uncovered two of the major links that link LGBTQ plus community to the Black Lives Matter community. All right? Those two were the beginnings. Harvey Milk, he was the beginning of the LGBT community, and Huey P. Newton was the beginning of the Black Lives Matter. And as you can see, both of their ideologies came together. They were both on separate sides, but yet they spoke the same language. You get that? You okay? You get that? All right, let's continue. So now we're going to talk about take place in my hometown, Philadelphia. All right. Let's see what it has to say.
An egregious example of Christians being charged with a supposed hate crime for trying to preach the gospel to homosexuals happened recently in Philadelphia. Michael Markavage is the founder and director of Repent America.
On October 10th of 2004, our ministry was present at an event in Philadelphia called Outfest, which is a taxpayer-funded event which celebrates homosexuality. And we were there for two reasons, one being to address the public celebration of sin, and the second to proclaim the Word of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Markavage and 10 other people carried signs and proclaimed the message of repentance and change through Christ at the event, which took place on the public streets of downtown Philadelphia.
When we did arrive, we were interfered with by this militant group of homosexuals who came together to oppose our presence, to basically say that they're not going to allow us to come into the public streets to share the gospel. And certainly we went ahead and tried our best to communicate what we were there to do, and that was to share the message that homosexuality is sin and Christ can set you free. Police, instead of dealing with those who were acting disorderly, which was the homosexual group who were blowing these loud piercing whistles and engaged in blocking us with these styrofoam boards that were cut into the form of angels, they had surrounded us and began to follow us around. The police didn't deal with that situation, even though I had asked.
Instead, police arrested the members of Repent America and took them to jail. Arlene Elshinaway is a 75-year-old grandmother who demonstrated with Repent America that day.
I've never been arrested for any reason whatsoever. We were handcuffed and taken into the paddy wagon, which was without windows, so that we really didn't know where we were going. We were being driven.
I'm gonna pause it right there. So, in about a few minutes into this section of it, and I had to come back to the church aspect, the religious, the faith, spiritual aspect of this documentary that I'm doing. It is not so much a documentary. This is like a collage of information that was presented to me. I don't necessarily consider this a documentary because a documentary entails that I'm not going to sit here and take credit for anybody's work. The people that I've listened to over the years, the people that were basically YouTube mentors to me, the people that were basically YouTube mentors to me, I grew up, watching these videos, these documentaries. So kudos to the men and women that put these videos together so that way we can watch them today. Philadelphia has always been ground zero, it's always been the epicenter of some kind of control. Okay, this is a Commonwealth state, and pretty much whatever the commonly wealthy people say normally goes. So what we're watching right now is that this was the beginning of the state of PA, Philadelphia, not being able, the Christians of this city, not being able to protest. And they arrested a 75-year-old woman. Okay? They arrested a 75-year-old woman for her faith, for what she believed in. Does that sound like somebody else? Was it Alabama? What's her name? Rosa Parks? Yeah, they arrested her too for what she believed in. But the difference is laws were made against this 75-year-old grandmother, but what Rosa Parks wanted, it happened. You see, Black people, what happened, and when I say Black people, I mean like so-called Black people, because you can't keep talking to yourself as if you're a color. Okay, take out some time, read a book, know your lineage, know who you are, know who your dad is. Okay, because whoever your dad is, that's what you are. Now I know we like to talk about, oh, I'm mixed. No. Whatever your dad is, that's what you are. Okay, but I digress. Let's continue.
Driven to, we ended up at some police station. To this day, I don't know where.
Ted Hoppe, an attorney affiliated with the Alliance Defense Fund, represented the so-called Philadelphia 11.
They ultimately...
Oh, and 11 is just another term for the two pillars in Masonic doctrination. Whoever's watching this, if you're in the know, you know what 11 means. It means the passing through the Rubicon. When you're passing through the two pillars, you're passing through to another dimension. So that's why they call them the Philadelphia 11, because Philadelphia was going to a point where they were going to be living in an inverse world. So when you're going past the Rubicon means you're going, it's going to be the point of no return. Okay. So you got the two pillars, 11 represents the two pillars of Masonic doctrination, and Philadelphia went through the Masonic ritual, and they used the Philadelphia, quote unquote, the Philadelphia 11 to do that with, to let the world know. That's why this was a very big story. I'm pretty sure this was in the 1990s. This was a very huge story at the time. And they basically said, hey, we're not doing God's will anymore. And if you dare to oppose this new ideology, you will get arrested and you will be brought to their justice. That's why Philadelphia is allowed to have this, I think it's called the naked bike run. And I witnessed this bike run with my own eyes. It is very shameful in nature. You had grown men. And mind you, this is in front of the art museum. This is all on Ben Franklin Parkway. You had grown men, butt naked, riding bicycles in front of little children and their families. Okay? That's what went on that day. I'm not sure if I don't know if they did it this past spring, or I don't know if they did it or not, but I know they did it in 2019. I think it was right before the pandemic. And it was older men, older women, and they called it art. They called it art. They said a man, no, they said grown men were riding with their Johnsons swinging. And parents had to shield their kids' eyes from, well, I have to say it. these perverts, these explicit perverts. Why else? Why would anyone in their right mind of thinking would be riding a bike in broad daylight, butt naked? Ask yourself that question before you say someone's bashing somebody. Because if it was any other day, that person would be arrested. Because I know if I felt like, well, you know what? Hey, yo, Sam B. Hey, yo, pull your pants up, man. You can't have that thing swinging around. It's against the law. I can't do it on any other regular day. I can't walk inside Whole Foods, want pants down. Look, they done tackled me and they said, look, you know better than this. But yet, when it's to the LGBT community, it's considered an art form. It's considered harmless. Oh, the children? Well, they just gotta know. They have to embrace it. They need to know. Well, let's continue.
Were arrested, charged with disorderly conduct, put in handcuffs, and taken away. They were held in jail for about 21 hours, charged, and then ultimately released, but still facing the criminal charges. After that time, what ended up happening was the district attorney's office formally charged them, and included in the charges against them were a charge under the Pennsylvania hate crimes law. Pennsylvania is called an ethnic intimidation, but it really is a hate crimes law. And that crime is a felony, and if they were convicted of that, would carry jail time in a state penitentiary.
And what we were simply saying was that homosexuality is sin, but Christ can set you free. That was the message of our presence at that event, is that what you're doing here is celebrating sin in the public streets of Philadelphia. And as Christians, we're here to address that, but we're also to give the hope that is found in Jesus Christ to you. And that was what we're there to do. And the prosecutor in this case said, that's hate speech, and we're not going to have any of it.
When we were released, given this piece of paper, which were 3 felonies and 5 misdemeanors, if they had found us guilty of these things, it was worth 47 years in prison, plus a $90,000 fine for each of us. The charge was ethnic intimidation. In my case, pretty ironic that I would be charged with ethnic discrimination. But since when does your sexual preference qualify as making you an ethnic group?
Bless her heart. Bless her heart. And she's right. Since when does your sexual preference becomes an ethnic? And this is a so-called woman of color. Do you see the irony of it? And I'm talking to black people directly right here. Because see, and I really mean this too. I really, and like I said, this has nothing to do with the singular, homosexual, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. This has everything to do with the LGBTQ plus community leadership and political backing. Because see, it has to be some kind of law in place, right? Right? Because you saw it right there. hate crime was considered ethnic intimidation. This is a so-called woman of color. And she's being charged with a hate crime of ethnic intimidation of the LGBT community, when it's already been established that this is a lifestyle. This is a sexual preference, but it's also an ethnicity. Like I said, there's no such thing as conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories come out of agendas already in place. Let's continue.
Every year in Philadelphia, they have a celebration of homosexuality. It's called Outfest. It's a taxpayer-funded event where thousands of people come into the streets of Philadelphia to celebrate their homosexuality. So as Christians, we believe that there needs to be a response to a public celebration of sin, such as Outfest. So our ministry went to Outfest. There were 11 of us in total. And ultimately, we had been arrested for singing "Blessed Be the Name of the Lord" at this event because we were directed out of the event, and we believe that we had the right to be in the public square just as everyone else. What they do is they set up a stage here on the corner of 13th and Locust where this traffic is coming out. And basically on this stage, there's a lot of open lewdness that takes place, a lot of very disturbing things that do take place in front of children. And we were actually entering to the event through this sidewalk here. Right here at this intersection of 13th and Locust, we were blocked by a group of homosexuals who actually linked arms to prevent us from coming into the event. We're blocked by a group of
and I want you to pay attention. All right? I want you to pay attention. That is the black woman, the so-called black woman, next to the Caucasian male. Now, they both appear to be wearing, in solidarity, the same color. All right? I want people to really understand what happened over the years. This was something that had, and you know what? I think I will do a part 3 to this. I think I will. It might have to be a part 3 because this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm looking at this now, and mind you, I haven't seen this video in a very long time. But now that I'm looking at it, you see, because even though like she may not look like she's with the LGBT, but the colors are in solidarity. Okay? And the so-called black woman today, and you can just know this for facts. Okay, anybody that knows any black women out here, it's almost 1 out of 5 of them have a gay, black, or white male friend. Okay? And in part 1, Barack Obama, black women didn't even vote for him first. Okay, they voted for Hillary Clinton first. But once they saw that Barack Obama was taking the lead, then they switched to their, they switched to the racial tone. See, a lot of people you really just don't understand what happened here. But you know what? I'm going to help you. The Tune Up Show's here to help you. Sam B is here to help you understand this. Let's continue.
Homosexuals who actually linked arms to prevent us from coming into the event.
Public street. All
right, thank you, officer. This here is obstruction. When they have the signs and trying to block us, and their intent, as they said in the Philadelphia Gay News, is to have us block our message blocked.
If you feel that way, I think you can seek relief through injunctive relief or through the courts.
As I was speaking with him and encouraging him to do something about these whistles that were being blown at us, and they had big pieces of styrofoam that were cut out in the form of angels, and they began to block us with these styrofoam.
And that's also blasphemy. Angels are depicted as, in the likeness of God, the likeness of creators, of the Creator, God, Yahweh. The fact that they made them pink was to effeminize them. So these people know what they were doing. They were there to antagonize these particular Christians, and it's a lot here. And I have to present this the way it is. Okay? So I can't stop for people's sensitivity level. I can't stop for people who say, you can't do that, Sam B. You can't do, you just can't. But why not? Why can't I have to. Because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. First Amendment.
Styrofoam boards so no one can see us. So when they have their pink signs around us, did you give them the same message?
They're getting ready to get rid of their signs.
But you didn't tell them that they had to get their signs out of here.
11 Christians were arrested that day, including 2.
Man, they lifted they lifted him up. They said, hey, you gotta go. You got my goodness. My goodness.
Grandmothers. The group became known nationwide as the Philadelphia 11. And they would soon learn that sharing the gospel in public in Philadelphia was considered a hate crime.
Kept taking our pictures and fingerprints, and it was, the longer we were being held, I realized that we weren't getting out right away.
We were charged with 3 felonies and 5 misdemeanors, which could have put us away for 47 years in jail and $90,000 in fines each.
It was totally surreal. I mean, I just couldn't believe. It just seemed like unreal, the whole thing. But then to be charged with ethnic discrimination, I mean, this is absolutely absurd.
Well, the hate crime legislation is going to do away with our freedom of speech. And the churches don't realize it, but it's not going to just be for us who go out in the street and take a stand against it, but it's going to affect the churches.
This is, we believe, probably the first time, if not the only time, anybody has been charged with a hate crime where the instrument of the hate crime is, at least incidentally, a Bible. The whole movement towards creating national statewide hate crimes laws and national hate crimes laws is a really scary movement in this country. And anybody who has any belief in the First Amendment or even the things that made this country great ought to be really scared about this.
It strengthens your faith in the Lord and what He can do for you. And we are going to face persecution. It's promised.
God has called us to love them, and we are there with the message of love, and that is that there is hope and freedom through Jesus Christ, that they can be set free from their sins. And that was what we were there to do. Nothing more, nothing less.
The case of the Philadelphia 11 is a chilling precursor to what we could face if hate crimes legislation is allowed to become the law of the land, a crime is a crime. But we're heading down a road where someone's perception about your motivations and deeply held convictions may get you arrested. Did you know that under these laws, the punishment would be greater for an assault on a 22-year-old homosexual man than for the same kind of an assault on an 85-year-old woman?
Yeah. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. But
Tristan Emanuel is the author of Christophobia.
I didn't click on you. Hold on. I did, but I'm looking for something else as well. So that's what that's the correlation I wanted to make between the Black community, the Black Lives Matter, the inevitable joining up of the blacks, the Black Lives Matter, and the LGBTQ plus community. That was an inevitable team up. That didn't just happen. This has been in the works since the 1920s. All right. And that was the correlation, you know, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. No. Sam B ain't done yet. Now, this is what we're going to do. All right. Now, this next video, now I'm not going to play a lot of it, but we're going to get into, now, we've talked about pretty much the lesbian. Well, how many of them alphabets did we cover? We did the L, the G. I mean, the B kind of goes with the L and the G, so I mean, it doesn't really matter. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're at T, transgenders. All right, so let's see where the transgender started. And as you can see, the cursor, yes, I'm going to click on it. Let's do it.
Before it is assembled.
Pass these out while I put it on the board.
Hold on now. So this is from
identical to the Statue of Liberty, but has the
now it's a lot here, so we're going to walk. I'm going to try to make this. Hold up. I'm going to try to make this as. I'm going to try to break this down to bite-sized pieces as much as possible. All right, because see, the transgender movement is a very, very slick movement. And when I mean slick, it moves in two different directions. And those two different directions are male to female and female to male. And technology is more and more technology that's coming out to make this so, to where you can't tell the difference. That's why this is the section of it all. All right. So
Statue of Liberty. For decades, she welcomed millions of immigrants to the U.S.
This is a really important ceremony to remind us of the strong links with France.
Oh, I know the strong link with France.
Gave Lady Liberty's little sister a final au revoir. She'll arrive in New York for a family reunion just in time for the 4th of July. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
After the 4th, little Lady Liberty will be moved to the French embassy in Washington, D.C., where she'll stay for a decade.
So they're going to talk about
rays, representing the 7 continents of the world. It is the sun god that presides over the world. This is Attis. Now, Attis is somebody you need to understand who he is, because Attis was the priest or the main servant of Cybele, because his eye unto reign her head. The exalted look.
And as a
will be Masons.
This has a lot to do with this guy's kind of all over.
I am not going out.
So like I said, this documentary is kind of all over the place, but if you could keep up with it, it's talking about the Statue of Liberty and how it just may not be a woman. All right. So we're gonna talk about it. Now, I'm gonna blow this picture up real fast. That's the Statue of Liberty, as it is. You know what? Let's go to Google. All right, let's do this. All right. Let's go to images. Right? Now, look at this. Why is the Statue of Liberty a woman? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's take a real good look at the Statue of Liberty. All right? I wish I could just blow this up. Let's take a real good look at the Statue of Liberty, okay? There we go. Now, let's take a good look at the Statue of Liberty. Is this a woman? Is that a face of a woman? Now, I know we like to believe that, some chicks got sharp jaws, sometimes they got, there's some girls out there that got strong chins. I mean, she got her dad's chin, bro. No. No, sir. No. That is a very, very prominent chin, if I have to say so myself. And if I have to say so myself, this is a man in drag. Okay? This is the man in drag. Why, you ask? Well, let's figure it out.
And Lady Liberty on the right. What I want to suggest to you when I got to this part is I thought to myself, oh my goodness, is Lady Liberty really a lady?
Hey, Vash, it is the 16th of April, 2019. This is quite fascinating, this Notre Dame cathedral burning down. That's an understatement, but there are several things very quickly this morning that just were put out in front of me that are like, whoa, this is absolutely something. I really do. But
here is her face before it is assembled.
Pass these out while I put it on the board. Get the lights.
Now, if you're wondering why this person that made this video keeps showing Sandra Bullock, the actress, she's been rumored to be a he. It's been in various documents, various articles, and me myself, I can see it. It's been in plenty of movies where, because see, a lot of people need to understand this. Hollywood, they have depicted to us as a culture what a man is supposed to be and what is a woman supposed to be. So it's not shocking that they would put a transgender in front of you and call it a woman or call it a man. Okay. The actress Hilary Swank played a boy, a very convincing boy, in the movie Boys Don't Cry. All right. But let's continue. That's like an outtake.
And be influenced, that's under construction.
Aside from needing to thank three very important people who do a lot of construction, my makeup artist, Pamela Westmore, Lana Vici, who does hair, and Joel Voorhees, who does my wardrobe.
So you see that, right? You saw what this creator did. Let's rewind back a little bit.
Artist, Pamela Westmore, Lana.
You see that? Very prominent chin the Statue of Liberty has. They even brought up a picture of Elvis.
Vici, who does hair, and Joel Voorhees, who does my wardrobe.
So you can be the judge, ladies and gentlemen, but this little rabbit trail here, I believe, shows us that not only has Attis, or the priest of Ishtar, and sun god worship showing up all over Egypt, all over Rome, all over Greece, and everywhere else in the Eastern Mediterranean, but is on our soils and has infiltrated America today.
Now, pay attention to that. Laverne Cox, a known Hollywood transgender, a man. Now, why is she wearing the Statue of Liberty hat, with the crown, and holding the torch? Because they're telling you something. They're honest to God laughing in your face. They're laughing in the faces of all the Americans, of everybody else that think the Statue of Liberty is a woman. Okay? The Statue of Liberty is not a woman. It is a man in drag. Okay? The whole point of the Statue of Liberty is that it's liberty, libertas in Latin. Okay? To be free of, right? Liberty. Liberty to do what you want to do. Liberty to be who you want to be. Yeah. Like I said, this whole thing has been an agenda from the jump. The LGBTQ plus community has been an agenda from the jump. But we just didn't pay it any mind. Like I said, And look at the words. Transformation Entertainment. Why would they have that like that? LGBT community. You have a man to female, transgendered, wearing the crown of the Statue of Liberty, the Statue of Libertas, the Statue of Ishtar. I'll get into that. It's a lot of spiritual components in this video, but for the video's sake, that has to be another video. If I truly were to get into this, this would be easily a 6, maybe to 8 hour documentary. But I gotta do it from a 2-dimensional aspect, or I may just lose my audience. So let's continue.
And has literally become the epitome and the torch of freedom. It's bondage.
To change the will of the people, Goebbels needs more powerful tools of propaganda. He sets his sights on nationalizing all of German media under his control. Newspapers.
Yep. Playboy too. Playboy was in on it as well. And for all the women that, I don't know, pounced on R. Kelly, and like I said, this is not any way, I'm not in any way trying to exonerate R. Kelly, okay? This is no way am I trying to stick up for him. But for any woman that felt as though they had to add fuel to the flames for R. Kelly, I asked, what was the difference between him and Hugh Hefner? Because, see, they made sure they had a lot of black women on there. On that doc, Surviving R. Kelly. But can we talk to the women? Okay. You think they would ever have done a Surviving Hugh Hefner? It's a lot here, guys. But we're going to stick to the LGBTQ plus community. Let's continue.
The newly evolving movie business and radio. It will not only help him brainwash the German population, he will also create his own personal media kingdom.
Notice the nimbus, the halo of rays of the sun. This is an ancient pagan sun god. It's everywhere. This is not something they just made up. Helios, look at this. Holding a torch.
Look at that.
He's the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the 7.
It's another depiction of the Statue of Liberty. Helios.
Wonders of the ancient world. Where did he get the idea of the torch? Ladies and gentlemen, he took a trip here. He took a trip to Egypt. He studied these things. This is what he saw. An over 100-foot Colossus of Helios with this headpiece on of the 7 rays of the sun. Don't tell me that that didn't influence him.
She is the first openly transgender actress nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. Biography celebrates the story of Laverne.
So that was a little bit of history about the Statue of Liberty. So we're going to head over to all right. We're going to head over and we're going to get into some things. As you can see, I already have this up. These are videos that I compiled. Because see, it's already on there. And I I already knew what I was going to do when I did this. So let's do it. Now I'm going to end part 2 with this, because see, every agenda has its start and ultimate end. Okay? Every agenda. So, and this is it. This is whoever did this, it says the first gay president and his husband. So, I mean, you can pretty much tell where this is going. But it's very telling evidence, very damning evidence. I will be commentating in between. And I'm going to end part 2 on this video. And part 3 will be, I will do a part 3. So let's do it. Now, Barrister Toro, that is a very known alias for Barack Obama. All right? And if you don't believe me, look it up. I'm not here to prove this man's name or whoever he is or whatever. All I know is that he was the political backing for the LGBTQ plus community. All right? He was the backing for it. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to get into it, but I really want to put this out here because, see, we have to know what happened, why it happened. I'm sorry. We have to know what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. All right, so let's continue.
So now he's going around. He, of course,
he's the first gay president.
Yeah.
Did you see the cover?
Yes, the cover of Newsweek says that Obama is the first gay president. Someone said they've made him a gay angel.
Well, they
put a halo, a multicolored halo over his head.
Yeah, so why would they do that? Maybe Time knew something that the public didn't know, because that's the real article. That's a real, that's a real picture that happened. Yes, they put a rainbow halo on Barack Obama. But let's continue. This is Larry Sinclair. For those people who've done their research, you may know about him. He's going to tell his story.
My name is Larry Sinclair. In regards to the Obama incident, on November 6, 1999, I asked the limo driver if he knew anyone who would like to socialize and show me Chicago. He used his cell phone to make a call. That call was made to then Illinois State Senator Barack Obama to set up an introduction between myself and Senator Obama. Senator Obama asked me if I was referring to coke, and I stated I was. Senator Obama arranged the cocaine purchase. Senator Obama and I then departed the bar in my limousine and proceeded to an unknown location. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. Shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine. The following day, November 7th, 1999. Senator Obama appeared at my hotel room where we again ingested cocaine and I again performed fellatio on Senator Obama.
This was a real deposition from Larry Sinclair. I don't know the background to why he came out like this the way he did. I do not know. But as usual, but in 2011, he was murdered in a hit and run car accident in 2011. All right. Now, of course, they're going to say accident. It is what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So this is basically the first person that even alluded to Barack Obama's alleged homosexuality nature. All right. And for some reason he's murdered, I believe months after this deposition. But let's continue.
Jeremiah Wright is definitely a closet homosexual. There's no doubt about it. And Obama is as well, and Larry Sinclair would testify to that. But there are a lot of other folk in Trinity. United
These pictures are obviously doctored.
To the fact that Obama.
Yeah, that picture is obviously doctored. So that I'm not promoting that picture. Obviously, I'm not promoting that picture. So for anyone in the comment section is that, oh my God, you did that. You just relax. I didn't do that. All right. So just relax.
Is a homosexual, as you state, knowing what I know about Obama, that, you know, when you're a homosexual and you're in the closet, you're constantly trying to feed that sex drive without being caught. We're looking at a very dangerous situation here with respect to the Reverend Wright and his homosexual relationship with Senator Obama. And I'm afraid that the issues that and the people that are aware of Obama's homosexuality, they're not using it now, but they're not his friend, and he understands that as well. He's now isolated from Reverend Wright, so blackmail is a high possibility and can certainly sway our nation in the wrong way, and people who we would not think would be pulling strings will certainly be doing so.
You know what my kids asked me? They said, you've got to ask the president.
Now, in these next clips, this is where we get into the transgender movement into the political realm. Now, the only reason why I'm using Barack Obama and I'll just say Michelle Obama for right now, the only reason why I'm using these two is because, for one, they are wearing the same color as me. And for two, they've been caught in many scandals, many lies, and various mishaps. All right. I don't judge anybody, but I do look at the fruits you present. And if you're a liar, you're a liar. If you're a cheat, you're a cheat. Obama has proven that over years, over time, he is not to be trusted. That whatever his plans are, this man has his own agenda. And he's proven that since 2004 in part one of this documentary. But let's continue.
President, does anything scare him?
You know, well, when Michelle's mad, when Michelle's mad.
Oh Lord!
I get.
Who? Excuse me. What? Who? What? Oh, hold on. Yeah, Exhibit 3. Obama referring to his wife as Michael at least twice. All right, let's check it out.
You know what my kids asked me? They said, you've got to ask the president, does anything scare him?
You know, well, when Michelle's mad, when Michelle's mad, I get worried.
Oh Lord!
There's a certain look that she can give me that tells me.
That's your survival instinct.
Distinguished guests.
Sounds like his same tone and stutter when he was talking about same-sex couples, right? In the beginning, the first part. Let's hear some more. All right.
And men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen. Deborah.
Look at Joe Biden. Man, he's hey yo, Joe. You're not even president yet, and you still lost. You still lost. I doubt if he knows where he at right now, watching this video.
Michael and I.
He just looked.
Also want to.
I can see why he picked Joe Biden as vice president. Because Joe is like, look, I already know what's going on. It is what it is, bro. Do you? I ain't saying nothing. I just want to eat ice cream all day.
I want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today.
Let's take it back.
Admiral Mullen.
Let's take it back.
Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have.
And you know what? You know what's crazy? He knew he messed up. This was on C-SPAN. Okay, live. Now who the heck is Michael, bro? Look at this dude. He asking the same question. This guy right here. This guy right here is like, Barack, who's Michael? He want to know. They all want to know. Look, he's like, man, that's not even cool, bro. Look, who's Michael, Barack? Who the hell is Michael? Let's continue.
Performed extraordinary service to our country.
Now, this is, hold up, let me see something real fast. There's a lot here, guys.
Country.
It's a lot here.
All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
Exhibit 3, the Obama kids' real parents. Obama, close friends, Martin and Nesbitt, and his wife, Dr. Anita Blanchard. Now, I'm not going to allude to this because, I mean, despite my real beliefs, or despite my own beliefs, I'm going to hold to a certain keel, and I'm going to save this part for another time. And we're just going to go straight to, you know what? Maybe, yeah, let's just play it out.
A black man named Martin Nesbitt, who is now, according to NYT, New York Times, a real estate executive. Nesbitt's wife is Dr. Anita Blanchard. Dr. Anita Blanchard up here is the lady who allegedly delivered the children of Obama. Who is Nesbitt? Who is Dr. Anita Blanchard? And who is Martin Nesbitt? Well, I have the answer to that question. They are none more than the actual parents of the daughters. Meet the real parents of the Obama kids right here.
Now, supposedly these two people are the parents of the Obama daughters. All right? And I'm not buying the whole, well, you know, all black people look alike. No. This needs to be explained. But I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a facial reconstructionist. I don't know. But this young girl right here, the young one, looked like this woman right here. And this older girl right here look like this man right here. You get? That's just the way I'm looking at it. So I don't know if y'all looking at it the same way I'm looking at it. She even got the same lazy ass eyes she does. Oh Lord! All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead.
They left out their kids to serve the illusion.
Wow, that's even more. I mean, like, good God. I mean, got the arrows, the dimples. You know, all right, I'm gonna keep going. Because like I said, I'm not going to get into that one because I wasn't there. And like I said, allegedly, the Obama girls are the children of the best friends of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Allegedly, these are the kids. This article I mean, good God. I mean, that chin, though. Let me look at the chin. All right, let's go. Oh, wow.
Please stand.
Why did I do that? Yeah, so you can pause it and let's just take a look at it. I mean, who does the older child look like more? They try to pass her off as Obama. Obama has squinty eyes. She has more circly. The dad has more circle eyes. The mom has, not to be racist, but more squinty eyes. The younger daughter has squinty eyes. Right? Just saying, just asking. Look, they even got the same teeth. The daughter and this man. Obama, and then, you know, no one looks like Michelle. I'm sorry. Now, maybe they can make them all look alike one day. But look, think about it, guys. When you're walking down the street and you see a black man, a black woman, and two black kids together, are you really thinking twice? Are you really thinking twice whether or not they are a family? No, you're not. But I'll leave it at that. Let's continue.
Tonight, we look at one Michael Levine Robinson. Missing to this day? Or did he pull off a daring caper to become First Lady of the United States of America?
And you know what? These are real Google images. Okay? You don't believe me? Well, let's do this because yeah. These are real Google images. Okay, I think I have it already. No, I don't have it. Hold up. Yeah, these are real Google images. Okay, Michelle Obama. Oh, look at that. It came right up. Let's go to images. Those were real Google images. Okay. Now let's Google and mess with it, and they put up all the flattering ones of her. All right. Pretty sure Google did a clean sweep of everything. By now, at least. Or they put it all at the bottom. Oh, yeah. These are all brand new pictures. Yeah, these are all brand new. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all brand new. Show more images. And look, I don't take pride in doing this. Looks like you reached the end. So those pictures were obviously taken off. Right? Because see, look at this. Kamala Harris and all. Yet, all these new photos were added. Okay? And this is her wearing that same dress. But guess what? It's all cropped out. Right? It's all cropped out. Yeah, a lot of these pictures were redone. But I can expect that from Google. Google did a clean sweep. It did a clean sweep. All right? That's the same dress. So you believe what you want. Let's do this. Lord. Is her on Ellen? All right, I'm not gonna call her. All right, yeah. Yeah. So, well, can that be explained? Can it be explained? What do we no? All right. Well, let's see if they can explain this. Something needs to be explained. Oh, somebody wants to get out. Yeah. And you know what? And that's the last time she wore white pants. That's the last time she wore white pants. Believe it.
Them at Harvard last week with one of their reported daughters. And Michelle walks down with Obama and she's walking like a guy. And it looks like she's either got like a rubber snake from Halloween or something in her pants. And we simply said, wow, this is a viral video. What do you think?
Okay, so yeah, that's so look, you be the judge. If you want to let cognitive dissonance seep in and just deny, but look, I believe once you see something, you can't unsee it. All right, so let's go.
Mr. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Well, now why would she say something like that? Why would she say? Why? Joan Rivers is a known and very seasoned comedian, but why would she say something like that? Obama's gay and Michelle's a tranny. Why? I mean, of course, reports came out. Oh, she was on drugs. She was this. She was that. She was loopy. She was that. Well, let's have this.
Well, it's very mean in some ways. People
It's not
can't wait
mean.
to
It's
hear
not
what you have to say.
mean.
Really?
It's not mean. You can. It's not mean. I tell the truth.
Simply put, this is one of the most remarkable stories I've ever been involved in. I did a report yesterday pointing out that back on July 4th, 2014, Joan Rivers, who died a month later, came out and said that Obama was gay and that Michelle Obama was a tranny. Now, a lot of folks had already pointed out shots of her with bulges in her pants or her looking like she was a guy adjusting herself, but I hadn't really covered it. But when Joan Rivers died a month later, I said that we should look at it. Rivers was saying that Michelle Obama, who she was friends with and had dinner with many times, was a tranny. Is this the final proof that she is a man? You need to decide this for yourself. And she's got a big old anaconda in her pants.
He's a Fox 5 News special report.
We do have some breaking news at this hour into the Fox 5 newsroom. Legendary entertainer Joan Rivers has passed away. Word of her death just moments ago from her daughter. Joan was rushed to the Manhattan Sinai Hospital earlier last week after she had stopped breathing during surgery on her throat.
But Rivers went to an outpatient clinic in Manhattan, bothered by...
And of course, that music. I'm gonna because there's music to that, and I don't want to get another copyright strike. Obama administration invites bisexual leaders to White House. In previous articles, I've talked about the great need for attention to be paid to issues that are unique to the bi community. Well, now it looks like our administration is doing just that. USA Today and other media sources are reporting that bisexual community leaders and activists have been invited to the White House for a roundtable discussion. And look, you can read on, all right? All right? You can read on with it. This has been a very, very long-winded part 2. I've told people that this was going to be my back to the future because I was going to go back to the past, to the future, back to the past, to back to the future again. So, yeah, this was my part 2. This is my back to the future part 2. And I'm just going to end it right here. Listen, people. The LGBTQ plus community, they're not evil people. Okay? They're not evil in a sense. That's why, because see, a lot of us do things and we don't necessarily know the extent of the consequences of why we're doing them. We just do them. Okay? We just do them. That's why Christians, as myself, yes, I'm a Christian as well. And I'm not the best example of one, but you know what? I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call it as I see it. And for the most part, we have to question the leadership and the political backing of the possible LGBTQ plus agenda. Okay? Because see, this is it. Part 3 is definitely going to be the conclusion because it's going to take place in present day. All right? So that's it, guys. That's it. This is a Tune Up Show. I'm Sam B. I'm out. Peace.